We open on Charlie Kaufman, fat, old, bald, repulsive, sitting in a Hollywood restaurant, across from Valerie Thomas, a lovely statuesque film executive. Kaufman, trying to get a writing assignment, wanting to impress her, sweats profusely. Fat, bald Kaufman paces furiously in his bedroom. He speaks into his handheld tape recorder, and he says, Charlie Kaufman, fat, bald, repulsive, old, sits at a Hollywood restaurant with Valerie Thomas.
That's right. We watched Adaptation this week on The Movie Gap, the podcast that has you scream. How have you not seen that? 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 Little darling, how have you not seen this? Welcome to the Movie Gap. I am your host, Chase Austin, and as always, my obnoxious twin brother, who is also fat and bald, Bryce Perkins.
Hello, everybody. Obnoxious twin brother that also makes more Skrilla per screenplay than you fucking genius. So genius, he can't even make any fucking money, can't even finish a screenplay, so genius.
Mom said it's psychologically taught.
Man, I was so hoping
so
there
much.
was gonna, well, we'll get into it later, but that part was fucking awesome. I was really hoping that it would end up that everyone was Charlie Kaufman after they had that discussion. But anyway, that would have been meta.
Yeah, it kind of is.
Yeah. A little meta.
Yeah.
Not
so
sort of.
Anyway, before we get into it,
all right,
let us introduce our fan favorite guest back by special request for a Charlie Kaufman film. It is AP Stark.
What's up, people of the interwebs? And yes, I was the special request. It was me.
So before we get into Bryce, so last week we covered Being John Malkovich, and of course I was like, well, we have to do Adaptation too, or Adaptation as well, and I knew that we would be remiss if we did not get you on this one.
I appreciate that. You know, Kaufman is my absolute obsession when it comes to screenwriting. And I've been trying to get you guys to do some Kaufman shit. So I'm very happy to hear that not just Adaptation, but Being John Malkovich. Fuck yes. Yeah. I'm glad. I hope Bryce's mind was blown.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I liked it a lot.
You did enjoy it.
Yes. And we shall see how I felt about this one.
Yeah.
What did you do? You
remember? That. Do you remember what you rated Being John Malkovich?
I think I rated Being John Malkovich 9 Malkovich out of 10 Malkovich.
Yeah, it was either 9 or 8.5. It was one of the two.
No, it was 9 or 9.5, yeah.
Oh, I thought it was 9 or 8.5.
Oh, maybe it was 8.5.
Yeah. It was up there,
something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's great.
So, before we get into this one, obviously, let's go Stark first. Stark, how have you been? We last spoke with you on our mid-Halloween episode of Child's Play, and that, at least that YouTube has gone on to be our highest ranking YouTube with the most views. So that's
far. Yeah, so truly a fan favorite.
Yeah, and it shot up fast. So
it shot up real fast.
I promised it wasn't just me watching it 150 times.
It might have been your mom, since we mentioned her. She just keeps watching it. She's like, they mentioned me. And I saw your stepdad commented on it.
Oh yeah, my mom called me last night actually, and was like, I was like literally about to fall asleep, like on the verge of sleeping to slumberland, and I get a phone call, wakes me up loud as fuck. I'm like, whoa, what's going on? It's my mom. And she was like, hey, I just want to let you know, I got a letter in the mail. I'm going to need you to come to Louisiana. I've apparently got to go to court. And I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? I was like, who is this letter from? She goes, Child Protective Services. fuck you for that fucking podcast. Like, you're making everybody
that's
think that
awesome.
I'm torturing your ass.
Oh, we were on her side though.
That's great.
You were.
Yeah.
But yeah. But no, I've been doing pretty good. You know, it's what the fuck has changed for anyone? Let's just let's say I'm caught up in election season, which is great. It's almost over, which is nice.
No, it is.
That's about it.
Yeah,
it is over
now.
We remember
forget.
we
This is.
Oh yeah, we finally got rid of the turd.
Yeah, no, we well, I know that I think that the future of America is bright with President insert winner here.
Yes.
And unless it's Donald Trump. Okay, sorry, I had to say it. I had to clear my name because anyway, but anyway, yeah. So
He's going to use where you said Donald Trump and put that into the insert here part. I hope you realize.
what do you mean?
If in fact, I don't know. I'm not going to put that energy out there.
Yeah,
Let's
see,
just
that's
quit
the
talking
thing. I
about
know.
this. Let's quit talking about
But
this.
the election has already happened.
Yeah.
And boy, what a doozy that was when they both
right. That was crazy.
when they both decided to quit and decided that America should live in anarchy and people could govern themselves. That's amazing. I'm really excited to see how the country moves forward after this decision. So
We're recording this from a bunker.
we're recording this from our own what do you call those things? Survivalist bunker. You know what I'm talking about? Where they do the show on like a
doomsday prepper.
Doomsday prepper.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're filming this from our own doomsday bunker.
Yeah.
We got cans of beans and
MREs.
MREs and some longbows. So we can live off the land, and we have
Can't forget the longbows.
and we have our rad detectors, of course.
Yeah.
And we're all set.
And our pit boys.
And our pit boys. Yep.
Yeah.
Hey, can't forget about trash can fires.
Gotta set the trash can fire. Got plenty of fuel. Got plenty of kerosene for that. Stocked up on the kerosene and the propane. And jokes on you, the ones that didn't doomsday prep this whole time. We tried to tell you. Yeah. So.
All right. So that's exciting. Well, let's get right
Thanks,
into
Chase.
this movie.
Thank you, as always.
Bryce, you
What?
had not seen this. So what did you know about this going in? And when were you first made aware of this movie? Do you remember? Because I remember when we were talking about being John Malkovich, you have a distinct recollection of the trailer when you were a child.
Uh-huh.
So when do you remember this one coming out? I don't remember the trailers for this one as much.
I remember seeing a snippet of it on Showtime or HBO or something when it had made its way onto that platform, probably a couple of years after its release, or maybe quite a few years after its release. Just like kind of it being on one night, but not watching it, and just kind of like whatever I was watching, I was like, I don't know what the hell's going on here. I was like 13 or something, I don't know, or 14 maybe, but I was like, this seems interesting, and that's Nicolas Cage. I want to watch this movie one day when I can start from the beginning. And here we are, many years later.
Many years later.
So that is one goal that I have fulfilled in my life. So no one can say that I haven't done anything with my life. There's another goal achieved.
Got it off your bucket list. Now you can crawl into your bunker and die.
Crawl back in my bunker and
with your longbow.
Yep, with my longbow
for hunting wild game.
Yep,
in post-apocalyptic Houston, Texas.
Exactly. Yep.
All right. Hope you like frogs.
I mean, there's plenty of people that eat frogs, Chase. You want to? Stark's family's from Louisiana. A lot of people in Louisiana eat frogs.
Hey, Stark.
Fuck you, Bryce.
They do.
Do they hunt them
it's
with
good, right?
Do they hunt them with longbows?
Well, if it's
we do hunt them with longbows, yes.
Okay.
If it's after D-Day and that's all you have, then I would assume that's what you're hunting them with.
Wouldn't you kind of need one before D-Day? I mean, all the weapons are still there. You could use whatever weapon you want.
What do you mean?
I mean, they have composite,
What
You got crossbows.
You're just
You
gonna
don't
find
need
it
just a
lying
longbow.
down on the ground or
Well,
something?
where did you find a longbow, Bryce?
I bought it before D-Day.
So why didn't you buy a better, like an easier to use weapon?
Longbows are cool.
All right.
Have you ever seen a crossbow though, Bryce? That's all he's trying to say.
Yeah.
I'm not a very religious person, so I tend to stay away from that.
Crossbow, though, definitely one of the most effective weapons against a vampire.
I've seen that. Yeah, I've seen evidence of that.
Yeah.
But luckily, we're not on a vampire D-Day. We're just in a good old-fashioned human nuclear D-Day.
Yep.
And my longbow is treating me just fine.
Well, good.
So keep your judgments to yourself.
All right. Well, let's get into it, guys.
Okay.
You ready, Stark?
Yeah.
All right. Bryce,
Uh-huh.
what are we on this note journey, or
I
call it a note journey. You have a different term for note journey, but
did have a little bit of a note journey. I mean, I had a couple of small note journeys. But the biggest one being that, I did my standard. I mean, so right off the bat, I want to talk about Nicolas Cage.
okay.
The elephant in the room.
At the time, he was Spike Jonze' cousin-in-law. Is that a thing?
Is
that what you call
if
it?
you
He
want
was-
it to be.
Well, he is Sofia Coppola's cousin, and Spike Jonze was married to her at the time.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Wait, Nicolas Cage is Sofia Coppola's cousin?
Yes.
So he's
Yes.
Francis Ford Coppola is his uncle?
Nephew, yeah.
Francis Ford Coppola is his uncle.
Yes.
Yes.
What?
Yeah.
I did not
How
know
do you
that.
think he was ever in the movie business to begin with? You basically have to be related to somebody whenever you were coming.
I
out
guess,
during
yeah, if
that
you want to
time.
make it,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
guess.
Now you just have to be Australian.
I have no qualms with that.
That's
I
true.
agree.
That's so
Yeah.
weirdly true. Yeah, but anyway, he does amazing in this movie. He's fucking incredible, and I did not know that he would be playing his own twin either.
Yeah.
That must have been a pleasant surprise.
Well, it was actually when
Yeah.
when Donald made an appearance and it was him, and they were he was like a totally different person, personality wise. Anyway, it was a real treat because Nicolas Cage was already fucking crushing it as
As
Charlie,
Charlie,
Kaufman in the first place,
And,
And
I
then
love
and then he goes and
the
fucking crushes it as a completely different person. But it's all
Yeah.
very fucking so realistic,
nuanced. And
nuanced,
because
exactly.
like he doesn't do like a different voice or really
Right.
walk. Like he walks a little different, but they're both pretty schlubby. I mean, they both look the same and they
Right.
both sound the same. But like one has this optimistic view, and then the
Uh-huh.
other is like soul crushingly depressed.
Right, which comes into play later in the movie with that beautiful, beautiful line, which instantly became one of my favorite lines in any movie ever. But there's a lot of questions I have about this movie, having known nothing about the
Okay.
backstory on it,
All right, I know.
that I need to be cleared up before we go into my notes journey here.
Well, I will clarify. So this movie is about Charlie Kaufman adapting
Right,
a book
a book.
into
right.
a film.
Uh-huh.
And he ends up wanting, like, adapting it by writing about him adapting
Of
it.
course.
And that
And it's
is-
very meta.
Yeah, and
Now-
that is exactly what he did.
Right. Now, is that a real book? Or
Yes.
is this just a
No,
movie?
that's a
of-
real book. Susan Orlean.
Okay, so I saw
Orleans is a real-
at the end of the credits that it said this movie is based on factual events.
Yes.
Some of they did the disclaimer about
Yeah.
based on a true story, the typical disclaimer for that. Does Charlie Kaufman have an actual twin brother?
Well, no, he's dead.
No, he's
So that motherfucker really died?
No,
Oh,
he
okay.
never had a twin brother.
Okay.
But the movie is credited, the screenplay is credited
to Charlie
to
and Donald.
Charlie and Donald when they were nominated for
solidify.
all of the awards for, like, they got Golden Globe, Oscar, BAFTA. They were nominated for all those. I
So
think
does
BAFTA
he
was the
really
only
have
one.
a brother Donald?
No, but the screenplay and the awards were for Charlie and Donald Kaufman.
Okay, so then that goes into one of my little notes journeys, which was during that scene where he's talking to Donald about Donald is like really proud of this idea where
The three.
three where it's going to be split personalities, but the twist is going to be they're all the same person. And he was saying, you can't do a movie. There's nothing more used in screenplays than split personalities.
Yeah.
He was writing Donald as a split personality, but without
to an extent,
saying as such.
Yeah, pretty
That's
much.
so fucking awesome.
And he talks about
And
how
also hilarious.
I mean, the whole thing with adding, like, everything that Donald does with the voiceover, this has a lot of voiceover in it. Donald mentions early on, he's like, I'm going to throw a song in. Mm-hmm. And then out of nowhere, later on to the movie, he just starts singing that song. Right. And then you're like, oh, wow, he just put a song in this movie.
And not to mention the fact that they were talking about how, or when it came to that song, Charlie's main critique was like, it was like switching genres in the middle of a movie. And then this movie switches into a thriller.
Right at that point. Go ahead, start.
If I could interject real quick.
Yeah.
Like, because this is going to be one of those ones where we're going to have a heart, like, it's so, like, heady.
There's a lot of shit to talk about.
I would say overall, I mean, the best way to think about it is that it's a film that tries to utilize all of the most cliche genre elements that it can in order to make a statement about it not being a typical a typical film that's filled with cliches,
right?
And it's almost a comment. So, how layered this thing is, because this is the thing that's hard about this film, is that there's so many layers that it starts almost becoming a satire of itself by the end of the film.
Right?
Yeah. Well, and that all points to, like, it all comes back to, like, they're doing all this Hollywood tropey kind of things to this book, adding it to this book because this book has no narrative.
Mm-hmm.
And so Charlie Kaufman was, hired to adapt The Orchid Thief.
Right.
And The Orchid Thief is, there's a lot of excerpts from it. And it basically is this journalist from the New York, the New Yorker.
It's the New Yorker.
Yeah, the New Yorker doing a thing about this guy.
The New Yorker. Yes, the New Yorker. Yeah, I know it.
The New Yorker.
Yeah.
But so the book is about her going to Florida and interviewing that guy and learning all about flowers, and there's no real narrative to it, and it just becomes her, like, talking about all these people and how they love the flower and, like, all the stuff that you read in it. And then, it ends with her going back to see him to be like, hey, take me to see the flower, and then she doesn't find it.
Yeah, right.
Where the book ends in the movie. And just like Charlie Kaufman said, he goes, I can't write it. He goes, this book is beautiful,
right?
And, like, I get it,
but it's not a movie.
But what am I doing?
It's like how McKee told him. It was like, this ain't a movie.
Yeah. And so, everything that he ends up adding to it, and all of those tropes and everything, are just what you have to do to get a movie,
right?
To be something like this, So
was he really hired on to adapt the book?
And this is what he turned in.
And this is what he turned in. And then they were like, okay.
Yeah. So he turned
that's
it in.
what happens when you hire Kaufman to adapt the fucking book.
Yeah.
Right.
And so he turned it in. He goes, he decided, like he does in the movie, he decides, I'm just going to do this movie about me trying to adapt it. And he goes, I'm not going to fucking tell anybody. I'm just going to write it because they're going to say no.
Right.
So I'm just going to write it. I'm going to turn it in, and that'll be the end of my career.
Yeah.
And, he's very, Charlie Kaufman apparently is very much like the Charlie Kaufman in this film, where he's just like,
is he fat and bald and sweaty?
I've never seen.
He's not really chubby anymore.
Yeah, I've never seen any of the pictures of him when he was chubby. He's always pretty thin, but he is.
Does he look somewhat like Nicolas Cage?
Yeah. The hair they got nailed.
Yeah.
They nailed the hair?
The hair is pretty much dead on. I think he's got a beard now. And he does look better with a beard, but I always say everybody does.
Right.
But since we're on the topic of Donald, though, real quick, to me, I think Donald is also, you have to remember that it's also, first off, it's like a mirror image. It's almost like what Charlie Kaufman wishes he was versus who he really is, which is outgoing, funny, able to flirt openly, things like this. But he's also just a useful tool to move narrative, which is why at the end, what happens, he has to die because almost it's like he used
served
up his purpose.
Yeah, served his purpose.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah, it was beautiful.
And one of the interesting things about it too is that Charlie Kaufman is inventing this version of himself that is everything he wants to be, and yet he can't see himself as anything but still a fat, balding schlub.
Right,
like he isn't able to like be like, oh, if my twin brother was anything I wanted to be, he would still end up looking like me.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
But it's something that when I was doing the research for Being John Malkovich, which was Kaufman's first movie, right. And he said that when he was writing that, he had two ideas, and basically he had done a lot of television writing before, and he worked with a team, and so to get a screenplay done, he decided to work with himself. And he had two ideas, and he was working with himself to combine the two ideas, and that's what Being John Malkovich became. Or that's what became Being John Malkovich. So what's interesting about this movie is that it was him working with himself.
Right.
It was, so it was almost like
so then he
pulling from what he had already done.
More meta.
Yeah.
Because then he made a movie about working with himself.
Well, if you remember, a lot of this is taking place while he's on the set of Being John Malkovich.
Yes.
Okay.
So it's also autobiographical about what he was doing with Being John Malkovich.
Exactly.
So it pulls in all these layers.
And that brings me to my main notes journey. Was at the beginning, I did not catch that was like at the very beginning when it's John Malkovich talking on set. I did not catch that was the scene of the restaurant scene.
He was talking about everybody in the masks, and he was in a dress.
I didn't catch that at all. I just was thinking like, oh, because I didn't know what this movie was going to be about at all. Right.
Oh, okay.
So I just see it open with John Malkovich. The only thing I knew about not the only thing I knew about Kaufman, but the only thing I knew about this movie was that it was done right after Being John Malkovich.
Yeah.
And so I was thinking, oh, he's, I don't know, paying homage to his previous movie by showing some footage of John. I didn't know where this movie was about to go, but I was like, I'm sure this will explain itself later. But I did not. I feel like so dumb for not expecting it. But when much later in the movie, you see John Cusack walking up the set, and then you see the tiny thing, and I was like, oh, that's John Malkovich.
Yeah.
And then you see Catherine Keener walking around and all that shit. That was a fucking awesome. That was what me and some of my buddies call a pwn moment. It pwned me, as the computer
and that's
geeks
why
say.
I mean, it's not important that you see Being John Malkovich first,
right?
But that's why I wanted you to watch it first, because it does have that little text to it.
It's that much better,
and you kind of got an idea of like. I feel like if you haven't been introduced to Kaufman yet,
it's a soft introduction.
Yeah, you saw that one, you're like, okay, I know he writes weird.
Yeah.
So like I can watch this and just enjoy it, and I'll figure it out.
To be fair, I've already seen
Eternal Sunshine.
I just had no idea that it was Charlie Kaufman, and I had no idea who Charlie Kaufman was.
Yeah.
It was just a movie that I happened to really love because of the writing, without even knowing that it was written by this guy who was a revered writer or whatever.
Exactly.
Which is a really cool experience. That's not something that happens very often. Usually when you go into something, you know about the writer, about the actors and shit. I only watched that because of Jim Carrey. Yeah. I didn't realize what I was getting myself into. And now
I think
it all
a lot
makes
of people
sense.
did, you know, because that was his third film, right? Stark, I don't think he did one between them.
It was his third movie, correct?
Yeah.
Wow.
So, most people, because this movie,
it's his fourth movie. Fourth, I'm sorry.
Which one was his third?
The Confessions of Dangerous Mind.
Yeah, which we talked about as well. I mentioned it last time.
Oh,
with Chuck Barris. It was George Clooney directed it, and it was based on the Chuck Barris memoir.
Oh, yeah. Right. And
we'll definitely do that sometime next year, because I love that movie.
Right. And didn't he do what was it called? Black Men, White Men, in between. That too.
No, that was
that Charlie
Evil,
Kaufman.
That was Evil Ed. That was from
innocent mistake.
Yeah,
Okay,
you're getting our podcast conflated.
Yeah. I went meta. Okay.
Stark was just
I went meta there.
Stark was
I was
totally
like, what
lost.
the fuck are you talking about? Right.
And because he doesn't listen to our show.
Yeah.
Busted.
Hey, what are you talking about? I'm the only motherfucker. No, I'm just kidding.
That's true, actually. That's probably true.
No, that's definitely not true at all. But one thing I wanted to say real quick, though, while we were still while we're almost still kind of on the Donald thing.
Yeah.
As I believe, Chase, you and I watched this together in college.
Oh, many times when we were working on our screenplays.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Which was like, but
you guys worked on screenplays?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man, I wish I would have known that. Do you guys still have copies of the shit that you wrote, or
probably not?
Well, we
any
got our
files saved or anything?
We have outlines. Yeah.
Man, can you pull them up? You should read that as part of this episode.
No. Maybe,
Oh, man.
We were not making it meta.
Yeah.
So
Oh
what
man,
I was
meta.
gonna say though is
I don't know what that
remember
word means.
We painstakingly, like, once we saw it, we were like painstakingly looking up shit about how, like, wait, is Donald real?
Yeah.
Does he really have a twin brother? Like,
Yeah, that's what I was going through watching it last night.
Yeah. It's just and to see how layered it is. It is almost really hard to deconstruct. Like, I found myself struggling to write notes. Like, I don't think I even have really too many of them, just because of the fact that, I remember it's been a long time since I've seen it, and just seeing, like, trying to go through the layers of it. It's so it sucks you in, and it really just starts boggling your fucking mind. It tickles them little mind chords.
Yeah, I mean the structure is like so good because, like, so at the heart of this film, it is about him writing The Orchid Thief. But at the end of the day, this is an adaptation of the book The Orchid Thief.
Right.
And you see all the major scenes of that. You see her, like, meeting LaRoche and after she wrote the first article, and learning all about it, and then her, like, in bed dreaming about it, and like, that's all the stuff that Kaufman interpreted out of her writing, because most of that book is just her talking about flowers.
Yeah,
it is not, like they said, it's not a narrative,
right?
And so like, this is him making that, and when the movie got done and he turned it in, or not the movie, when the script got done, he turned it in. They had to get her to sign off on it.
Yeah.
And she did not want to,
because
she
implicated her as a drug addict and stuff.
She was embarrassed. She was like, people are gonna
people are gonna think this is real.
Yeah, because they were afraid that they were gonna think that was an accurate portrayal of her, because nobody knows who she is.
Right,
I mean, the people who read the New Yorker or whatever read her book.
We do. She's a sad bitch, loser, cheating wife, drug addict.
Yeah, Meryl.
God, she's so great.
She just a rehash of Bridges of Madison County.
I've never seen it, so I don't get that joke.
Meryl, first of all, is amazing in this movie, and she's amazing.
She's an amazing actress.
Bridges in Madison County, but there's a lot of watching. I had not seen Bridges of Madison County before I had seen this movie.
Yeah.
So I had just recently seen that movie about a year ago, and now, having seen it, watching this movie, I was like, Meryl's pulling a lot of the same tricks out. Yeah, because it's kind of her character has
she
kind of the
does so
same,
many movies, it's bound to happen.
Yeah.
But by the way, real quick, I think it has to be asked, and I'm pretty sure I know the answer. Meryl's real boobs or no?
Oh, I have no idea. I don't think so.
No way, right?
No
way.
Yeah, no way.
Okay.
It's probably Judy Greer's real boobs. I feel
Judy Greer's real boobs for sure.
No, those are definitely
yeah. But she
shows
them in Arrested Development to everyone, to the characters of Arrested Development all the time.
Say goodbye to these.
Yeah, say goodbye to these. But about the I love Meryl Streep, by the way. She's amazing. I saw the first Meryl Streep movie I saw, and this will tell in case you didn't already have an idea of how little I watch movies for the audience, the 5 of you that are watching. The very first Meryl Streep movie I saw was The Devil Wears Prada.
Oh my God.
And
really?
And guess what? She was fucking awesome in that movie, dude. She's so, and I was like, wow. I was like, wow, this is why I keep hearing her name.
Yeah. This is it.
She's amazing.
So good.
She was really good. But anyway, but also what you were saying about, you see all the scenes of the book in this movie.
Yeah.
the best
after
part
the fact.
about it is that you see him writing it after you've already seen the scene. So
Exactly.
you're watching the movie and the timeline of it is like
and
that's the
perfectly
brilliance, is that
executed.
I remember that was the
perfectly
one thing
executed.
that I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Stark.
I didn't even know it. Was I cutting somebody off? My bad.
No, you're good. We were cutting you off.
That was
You're being meta, dude.
yeah, I was being meta, bro.
I don't know what that word means.
No, that's the one thing I remember whenever Chase and I saw it for the first time is that, like, you're sitting here watching this movie, you're just like not sure what to make of it because you're just like, you're like,
Right.
you're trying to figure out what the fuck am I watching. But in the middle of it, and you think it's so straightforward. In the middle of it, suddenly he discovers that it opens with the opening of the movie,
Yeah.
and it's literally the most mind exploding thing. We were like,
Right.
Well,
what the fuck, dude?
yeah, and he keeps,
Yeah.
but like it keeps getting, like you keep seeing him add to the opening.
Right.
Because like the first time he opens it, when he has his first breakthrough, and he's like, it opens with the dawn of, before life and all this stuff. You're like, oh, that's how it opened, but it's not how it opened.
Yeah, it opens
Exactly.
with
And then he's like, oh,
with
then
his
it
first
opens,
voiceover.
Yeah, and he goes, it opens with him meeting that woman. It's
Yeah.
like, no, that's not how it opens.
Yeah.
It opens with him talking about
Right, yeah.
him going to,
Yeah.
So like it eventually becomes fully meta to the point where it catches up to the end with the voiceover.
Right,
From the
exactly.
beginning.
Where it becomes a satire of itself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, what I was going to say, I have a quote from Susan Orlin that she said, reading the screenplay was a complete shock. My first reaction was absolutely not. They had to get my permission, and I just said, no, are you kidding? This is going to ruin my career. And she goes, very wisely, they didn't really pressure me. They told me that everyone else had agreed, and I somehow got emboldened. It was certainly scary to see the movie for the first time. It took me a while to get over the idea that I had been insane to agree with it, but I love the movie now. So
cool.
See, how could you imagine writing a book, this being your one real thing that you put out there, and somebody's adapting and everything's going so fast,
And then this
and then
is
the
the
shit that you
adaptation.
see, yeah,
the very
you're now
first,
a drug addict, adulterer,
Yeah.
who tries to kill the screenwriter
She's
of
like-
this movie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's expecting the movie just to be an adaptation of just her book, and then it becomes an adaptation of her fucking life too. And she's like, "What the fuck is
yeah,
this shit?"
they send her from the very beginning too. Oh, here's a copy of your movie, The Orchid Thief.
Yeah.
She opens it up. The very first thing is it's called Adaptation. She goes,
Yeah.
I guess that's what film
yeah.
things do.
Yeah.
This is
A
an
bald
adaptation.
fat
Yeah.
man.
Oh, that's the working title, right? Okay.
And then the first things are a bald fat man
Yeah.
talks into a tape recorder. What?
yeah, that's
So
fucking great.
I read that she so she came to set at one point, and when she was there she met Charlie Kaufman. It was the first time she met him.
finally, yeah.
Because they didn't actually meet until he was done writing the movie.
Okay, right.
And it was on set, and she goes, this is so terrifying. And he goes, you have no, like, he says something like, you have no idea, and then left. And then they never did.
That was it.
Well, he's
Yeah.
So he
well, he's
really is
notorious-
like that.
Go ahead, Stark.
pretty quiet. He's like pretty antisocial.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
he's
Yep.
exactly like Nicolas Cage plays him.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
And I was watching it with my wife, and she was like, when the girl wanted him to come inside after that first date or whatever,
Uh-huh.
and
yeah.
my wife's like, he's so clueless. I was like, no, he's not.
No,
he
he's
knows
not.
exactly what's
Yeah.
going on. And then
He's fucking scared shitless is
and then
what he is.
then he starts talking, and she was like, oh, I didn't get that. I was like, yeah, because you're not a guy.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
you're not
Yeah,
a
yeah.
guy who's
Right.
insecure. Like, this is real.
Yeah, yeah. Also very reminiscent, which we haven't done a movie that hasn't brought it back to Seinfeld yet. Extremely reminiscent of the you want to get some coffee? Nah. I don't drink coffee.
I know,
it keeps me up at night.
It keeps me up at night.
Yeah. I don't drink
Who are
coffee.
you going to drink coffee?
Coffee is sex. She didn't even want coffee. Yeah. So anyway, very good. But yeah, I mean that was one beautiful running theme throughout the movie is his struggle with that, and then watching his brother be the opposite of that, and why can't I be that? And I mean that was just fucking great. I mean for anyone that I would say the majority of the human population deals with some form of anxiety here or there, and for it to be shown honestly.
He captures it well. Yeah.
It was pretty refreshing. and really neat. And like you literally see all of these like opportunities for great things to happen to him just absolutely slip away because of his inability to act, especially that elevator scene.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, that was like the biggest oof. You know, when he goes up, he doesn't walk out when it first goes on the New Yorker, goes up the floor, goes back down, then she walks in and he goes, look. And it was just like, oh, that was just so well done. And god damn it, please tell me Nicolas Cage won the Oscar
he did
for
not.
this.
He was nominated.
Bullshit.
Yeah, it was. His,
was he nominated?
He was nominated. This was his second nom. He won for Leaving Las Vegas. He did not win for this.
Fucking who won for
this? Which is ridiculous.
Or who won
Chris
that
Cooper.
year?
Oh, I don't know. I'll look that up. But
Chris Cooper won? Oh, good. Because he was amazing too. We haven't even gotten into him, but he was incredible.
This was his only nomination, and at the time, this was his first. I don't know if he's been nominated again, but he did win.
Good, because he was fucking great.
He was fucking phenomenal.
Who won Best Actor over Nicolas Cage?
I'll look that up.
Because Jesus,
so why don't you get into? Let's start talking about
a great acting performance, man.
Well, why don't you talk about that a little bit, and I'll pull up the award here.
All right. Well, Stark. I mean, I don't know if I'm sure you probably agree with me on that, right? I mean, isn't it
Yeah.
like one of the best parts of the movie is just seeing him, just I don't know, play the subtlety of the anxieties just absolutely perfectly, and especially for someone, especially for someone that's known for quote unquote overacting, or
that's what I was about to say. Subtlety is the key word. To see Nicolas Cage give such an almost grounded performance is just absolutely in itself worth an Academy Award.
Well, so Nicolas Cage, I do know something about his acting in this film. He said that during the filming of this movie, he ignored all of his acting instincts and played the part of Charlie Kaufman exactly as Spike Jonze told him to, and then he got an Academy Award nomination for it.
Oh, wow.
He should do that more often.
Yeah, he should.
No, because because he's not always working with Spike Jonze or somebody that's good.
Yeah,
and
that's
sometimes,
true.
Well, he should just be working with Spike Jonzes of the world.
Well,
he shouldn't be working with all these little.
I mean, I think that even when he's like overacting or whatever, I think he's amazing.
I don't think
regardless.
he's ever overacted.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. He's a whole. We could just do we could do a 4,000 episode podcast on Nicolas Cage alone.
We could do our own
like that episode
like Scott White, where we just pick one thing and just do the Nicolas Cage podcast.
Yeah, absolutely, we could. Yeah.
So I have the answer, by the way.
Okay.
I will give you the 5 nominees, and we'll see who you think won.
Ooh, that's a good game.
Do you want me to? Do you want me to give you the nominees and the movie, or just the nominees?
Nominees in the movie.
If I give you the movie, well, I'll do the nominees first, and then I'll give you the movie.
Okay.
I think you'll know it.
Okay.
So Michael Caine, Nicolas Cage, obviously, and that was for Adaptation. Jack Nicholson, Daniel Day-Lewis, and Adrian Brody.
Oh, Adrian Brody.
Adrian Brody.
The pianist. Yeah.
Oh, got it.
Nicholson was
I haven't seen that
about
one either.
Schmidt. It's all right. Daniel Day-Lewis. This movie's way better.
Okay, buddy.
This one's way better than The Pianist.
Adaptation?
Oh, yeah.
I can
by
believe
far.
that.
I could watch this over and over.
And the acting performance, though?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean.
No, the Pianist was fantastic, but it's not a film you can watch over and over again because it's about the fucking Holocaust.
Yeah, and this one, like it's one of those things. Yeah, he did incredible, but like, could anybody play the part that he played? No. Could anybody play it better than he did? Maybe. Could anybody have done what Nicolas Cage did?
No.
Not
absolutely not.
Like that's how I see it.
Yeah.
But Jack Nicholson, About Schmidt, that's a great movie. This was a great year. Daniel Day-Lewis for Gangs in New York. I mean, I love Daniel Day-Lewis, and he was incredible.
He was incredible in that role.
He was incredible in that role. But at the same time, it's like, well, he'll get another one. Like,
right. And he did, right?
Yeah.
Didn't he?
I don't know if he's gotten one. Yes, he did for Phantom Thread.
Yeah, about to say Phantom Thread.
And then the last one was Michael Caine for The Quiet American, and I'm not familiar with that film.
I remember it, but I never saw it.
Yeah.
He must have got nominated for doing his American accent after his using his famous British, becoming famous off his British accent. Over here for so long.
Yeah,
I don't know. I would give him a nomination if he did a movie with an American accent.
So, Chris Cooper won for Adaptation, obviously, and he beat Christopher Walken in Catch Me If You Can, Ed Harris in The Hours, Paul Newman, Road to Perdition, and John C. Reilly for Chicago.
I remember John C. Reilly was like a big, like, people thought he was going to win that one.
Yeah. And so Meryl Streep was nominated for supporting, and she lost to Catherine Zeta-Jones for Chicago.
Then we got Renee Zellweger, who won that year, and that was the year that she was right for Chicago.
Yes, yeah,
Best actress, yeah. Like that was the year everybody was talking. Oh, she went to Katie.
No, I'm sorry, she did not win. She did not win.
Well, she got nominated for.
She got nominated. She won for Bridget Jones's Diary, I think.
She did, right?
Yeah. No, Nicole Kidman won for The Hours with her fake nose.
Yeah.
That's
with the fake nose.
That's a movie that's like, okay, I've seen it.
Really?
Let's just say you'll be counting the hours when you watch that one.
You used that same fucking joke back in 2004 or whatever the fuck that was when that came out. I remember you specifically saying that shit.
Oh, we have a good time. We have a good time.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I got nothing. Yeah, I love
the pianist. Ran away with a lot of, like, it won adapted screenplay.
Yeah,
over this. So
how could this not win adapted screenplay?
Yeah,
like, I don't
unreal.
This is the most adapted.
That's fucking unreal.
It's called fucking Adaptation.
Yeah, well, it's also just like, it's very inside baseball. This movie,
Yeah, sure.
And it's industry, like, the industry loves a movie about the industry, but then they don't really reward it.
Right.
You know what I mean? And like, how would it look to be like, we're gonna give this movie the award?
Well, the Oscars is already enough of a circle jerk. Giving the award to this movie would be like the money shot,
especially over, like you said, Stark, a Holocaust movie.
Right?
Yeah.
So,
speaking of the money, you go, Stark.
Okay. Well, one thing I wanted to say too is you can see this again whenever it's almost like this obsession Kaufman has whenever he's adapting books in particular, of them being almost interconnected with those typical tropes of a film. Like what I actually recently saw, that I'm Thinking of Ending Things film.
Yeah.
Not a fan. Was not a fan. By the way.
Not good?
Yeah. It hurt me to say it, but I was not a fan.
Okay.
He directed that one.
But it does the same thing about the whole, the three, and almost it reminded me of the three, where it's essentially you got the multiple people being one person, and it was just so layered into. Oh, my bad.
Hey, I want to watch this movie.
Trust me, bro. You'd watch. I don't think that you would appreciate it.
I sort of had, that was sort of what my instinct was telling me, but it's on my list anyway. When I have 2.5 hours to kill,
But he's like pushing genres together. I feel like he was almost like again, it's almost like you're watching an obsessive compulsive to me versus a fresh thing from him, which I love. Kaufman, like I say, is my favorite screenwriter. He appeals to my surrealistic lizard brain, but like as far as what he's doing now, I want to see something. I want to see something surrealistic, because the surrealism is starting to become too realism for him in my mind, I guess. Anyway, that's my critique of Kaufman.
Okay, I see. I mean, well, yeah, maybe I won't watch it now though, because 2.5 hours.
Watch it.
I get around to it. Let's talk about Chris Cooper.
I want to get into some Chris Cooper shit. So LaRoche, what a fun character.
Yeah,
I love that. He's a fun character, right?
Yeah.
God, he is funny as shit though.
Yeah.
Like it's so real. you know, I've met people not exactly like him, but where you're just like, that guy doesn't have any idea how funny he is, but also kind of does.
Yeah.
You know, and just the way he would say things about like, and it was like fuck fish.
Yeah, yeah.
And moving on, and then
done with fish.
And I had a nursery with my my ex-wife, that bitch, and that got destroyed by his little asides on it. Oh man,
yeah, Chris Cooper really killed it. Was this sort of his breakout?
No, because I mean, the one I always think of Chris Cooper for is American Beauty, which he didn't get nominated for. I can't believe that.
Well, he was his neighbor?
Yeah,
that's right. That was a really good movie.
Yeah, that's an insanely good movie.
The way that bag just moves in the wind, it makes me cry.
That boy is now a man, and he is on Yellowstone with our favorite Brick, Kevin Costner.
Brick. That's what you.
I will say.
I guess he is kind of a brick.
You should you'd like Yellowstone. It's fucking great. And Kevin Costner is not a brick in it. He's so good.
Really,
that's coming from me.
Yeah, that's coming from you. Does Carrie feel the same way?
That itself is the biggest.
Is this a show?
It's a show. Yeah, it's they've had 3 seasons, and they're only like 10 episodes.
I just started About Schmidt. Dragon Ball Super's on Hulu now. I got too much shit to watch. Maybe I'll get around to it.
Anyway,
wait, Dragon Ball Super is on what?
It's on Hulu.
Oh, it's on Hulu now?
Yeah, the English
dub. Is it dub or sub?
Dub.
Okay, good.
Yeah, which is great, which is good for me because it's all the same voice actors from DBZ from the childhood, so it's nostalgic as fuck.
Which I met Hercule in real life.
Oh, really?
Or
Mr. Satan.
Yeah.
And that's the other best part, Stark, is that none of it is like edited for Toonami, so it keeps all of the like adult humor in it, and they cuss and stuff.
Oh shit! Yeah. I saw like the first few episodes of Super, and I enjoyed it, but it was on like Crunchyroll or some like
right.
And I don't know. I never continued watching it, but I'll definitely pick it up.
Yeah. They got it. The whole shebang is streaming on Hulu, so go for it.
All right.
But anyway, we're talking about adaptation here, which Dragon Ball Super is an adaptation of the manga of Dragon Ball Super.
Hey, you know what that is? That's meta, bro.
No, that's just saying two things that are alike.
Meta.
I don't know what that word means.
No, it's Bryce.
See, he can't hear that.
I know.
It's
yes.
meta,
I don't know what that word means.
Stark, you can't hear my drop, but I got a drop of Nicolas Cage being Donald, saying when he was talking about the Ouroboros, and he's like, I don't know what that word means. And every time I say meta, I've been hitting the drop.
Oh,
where he said, I don't know what that word means. That's pretty good. It's a good joke. See, it's a meta to have to explain it to the person who can't hear it, while the audience has been getting the joke the whole time.
I don't know what that word
means.
Bryce has gotten 2 new drops from these movies. He got that one, and then
Malkovich.
from being John Malkovich, it's the waiter saying Malkovich. So whenever I say a name that he's like, oh yeah, I know who that is, he just hits that as though, because his thing was, I always knew John Malkovich as like, oh yeah, I'll nod and like I know who that is.
Right? Yeah. He was such that guy back then. But actually, can I do a beat remix of those 2 drops?
Okay,
for a minute.
Go ahead.
I don't know what that word means. Malkovich. I don't know what that word. I don't know what.
Sounds worse than you.
I don't know what that word means. Malkovich.
I'm gonna nod my head with him.
You're not even.
I don't know what that word means.
Doing anything.
Remix. That was for y'all.
God, that was a pain in the ass.
Oh, have fun, Chase, and enjoy it.
Chris Cooper
while you
reminded
can.
Me of Chris Cooper, to bring it back here for a second. Chris Cooper reminded me of my stepdad was a truck driver for a long time.
Yeah,
and you meet a lot of truck drivers, and they're very much like, and not, of course, not physically or anything like that, but the whole people who are like these almost I call back alley experts on the most random things.
Yeah,
and they sound like absolute geniuses, yet at the same time, they're running a porn website out of the back room, you know what I mean?
Very much, they are the most or they are the smartest person they know. Like he keeps saying.
exactly.
I mean, his character is so interesting. It makes sense that like anybody that read that book, I have not, by the way, read Orca Thief. I've known people who have, and they said that this is a great adaptation of it. But it is. They're like, yeah, there's no story.
Must suck.
Yeah, there's no story. It's basically a long article.
Is Charlie Kaufman in the book?
No.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Man, it's exactly like the book. The guy's like talking about writing the movie about the book. Well,
are you there?
go.
I'm still here.
Yeah,
My battery was like, hey.
Oh.
So, but yeah, LaRoche is this interesting character, but he's he's not in most of the book. Most of the book is just her writing about flowers, which is what all of those, and the way that this movie does, like, you don't even really, maybe like the first time, you don't even really realize that you are seeing this book being adapted. Like her talking about all the passion, like you get all of those themes and everything, but then there's this other story that has nothing to do with the book that makes this other story palpable or palatable.
It almost, to me, it feels like, because remember in the beginning, he was saying he was really passionate about wanting to make a film. Like, first off, he wanted to make something normal. He just wanted to make a straightforward film because he was like, this is my chance to make a straightforward adaptation. And he wanted a movie just about flowers. And that you can tell, like, it's almost like you're seeing him struggle so hard to make it about flowers. He wants it to be about flowers, but he just can't do it.
Because he can't stop whacking off about these women.
Right.
Yeah.
That fucking shot of him whacking it where it was from the hallway, whatever, it was just his feet. Dude, that was fucking hilarious directing. And just such a great way to show something like that,
Especially part of his fantasy was, wow, your screenplay is so good.
yeah. And then you see his feet go up a couple times, and every guy knows what that means. That says it all. It's like the masturbation version of like when in Scarface you don't see him chopping up the person.
Oh yeah.
But that but it makes it worse somehow.
Yeah,
it's like that's what that was.
I was watching this with Haley's got her sisters over. We were they were watching me watch like halfway through it or whatever. So they were totally like, "What's going on?" But like the one part they saw was whenever he was like jerking it to Meryl Streep's picture, and he's like, and Meryl Streep's like all on top of him, and then he obviously finishes, but then he just like turns over and starts looking back at it, just like. So what? No cleanup?
Yeah,
that's
a trope. That's a trope in film and TV of masturbation, no cleanup, and it's sex, no cleanup. It's like I've been watching Private Practice with my wife, like the whole thing, and like all they do is fuck.
Yeah,
all these people fuck, and they're just like fucking in their office on couches and stuff. Yeah. It's just like there's spots.
Yeah.
Like you can't just like you gotta put a towel down.
Yeah.
And this is a place of business.
Right. Yeah.
And like you're just gonna like fuck, zip up and go about your day. Let me cut your baby out of you now.
Yeah, exactly.
No.
Yeah.
Like, this is not sterile.
Yeah.
So but yeah, they never really clean up in the film.
Also, taking a dump, no wipe. That happens a lot too, right?
I'm trying to think of how often. There's a lot more sex.
So many movies where people take a shit and then stand up and pull their pants up and then walk out.
Yeah,
and
but say every time, dude.
Every time, man.
Not in my movies. It's always I make a point to have a bathroom scene, and you see how many times you wipe.
That's what. That's what happened in Butt Blazers.
Here's one that always annoys like Haley: people opening doors but never closing them behind them.
Oh yeah. My wife, her biggest thing is there's not one of the things that she hates about it is there's not a word for it, but it's a screenwriting or style thing where you'll be having a conversation with somebody and they just say one word that has no connotation with anything, and like the only response
and then
is
they
what?
leave.
And, no, they say one word and it'll be like mockingbird, and they're like, "What?" When I was a kid, oh.
He fell. He broke his head.
That was. But they'll say like mockingbird, and then the person will be like, "What?" When I was a kid, my grandmother, I used to be at her house, and I would look out the window and see mockingbirds.
Yeah.
It's like,
it's like, wow, that's so deep. What a deep way to explain.
It's not
I hate
even.
that shit.
It's just, and nobody does that in real life.
Shit. Exactly. No one does that. And then me and Ash's biggest pet peeve in screenwriting, I guess you could say, or in shows in general, is when someone's about to leave the scene, they're talking to the person, and then the person that's leaving. Wait, how do I explain this? There's a person that's about to leave. The person that's staying says, "Okay, well then, they'll say something like, what's the word? Aloof. I don't know. What's the word?
But
they'll say something that sort of like, oh man, what is the fucking word?
I don't know. What do you say? What happens after it?
When people leave without saying anything, when they just walk out of the door, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like the person that's staying, they'll be having a conversation. The person that's staying will be like, they'll say something ambiguous. That's the word I was looking for. Something totally ambiguous. And then the other person will just stare at them and then turn around and fucking leave.
See,
and not say goodbye or anything.
That could be realistic. I've done that.
No, it happens so much. It happens so much. It's so fucking annoying. And it happens in Mad Men all the time. And is one of the I love Mad Men, but that shit annoys the fuck out of me when Don Draper does the whole.
That reminds me of The Room, though. Like, remember The Room where like a lot of times they're like, why is like half your lines like hello, hi, goodbye, bye?
Yeah.
Like, it's just kind of like something. I guess in
screenwriting you don't need to write goodbye.
It's understood.
Yeah.
It's understood.
There's a point to it. What is interesting,
but it's just unnatural.
And it always stands out as unnatural. Unless it's like intentionally unnatural, is the repeat. When they're like, not this time. Not this time. Like, nobody does that.
Right.
Or, what I hate is when somebody says something and they go, I've always wanted to say that. Then why didn't you just fucking say it?
Right.
Like, don't tell me that nothing is ever stopping you from saying something. Fuck you. That's what I say.
Right.
Although,
fuck you. I've always wanted to say that.
Every time Mad Men comes up, I have to say that I did learn how to act like I'm 10 years younger from watching Mad Men. You just open your eyes real big and smile. And you just look 10
Who
years
does
younger.
that in Mad Men?
Don Draper. Every time it's a flashback of him being younger, John Hamm just does this.
For real?
Yeah, watch it. Watch Mad Men. When you're watching Mad Men, any of the, like him starting out at the firm or whatever, he's just wide-eyed.
Yeah.
And like, you just see all the wrinkles. Like, he's just, I'm younger.
Is he doing that when he's in the bunker too and shit? When he's pissing his pants and shit in the war?
It's all, when he's in the war, he's just, this is me. I'm younger.
Yeah.
Don't I look younger?
Yeah.
I feel like that's just John Hamm in general, though. Like, wide-eyed. I don't know.
All right. Well, let's wrap this up with some numbers.
Wait.
What?
I gotta do my the new segment, Goofs.
Oh.
The Goof segment. All right.
All right.
Goofy time, goof, goofy time. Goofy time, goofy goofs. All right. I have a couple of goofs here. You love it, Chase.
Come on, Chaz. You know you're feeling this shit, dude.
As this continuity goof. When Susan and John are walking through the swamp and LaRoche calls Susan a dumb bitch, she has sunglasses. However, in the next shot of her, she has on her regular glasses. Oh, boy. No wonder this didn't win an Oscar. Am I right? And then here's another one.
Can I say, though, at the beginning of this movie,
let me finish.
I did not expect it to end with somebody getting eaten by an alligator.
That's true.
Yeah, that was great. That was a great scene. Yeah.
This is one that I actually caught. That me and Ash both caught. And this will be sadly, this will be the last goof. So I'm sorry, fans, but this will be the last goof for this episode. When Charlie is getting takeout from the restaurant and bumps into Valerie, we all remember this, right?
Yeah.
He leaves the restaurant in a hurry and does not take his bag of food with him.
Ah, man, I noticed. That's not a goof.
Yeah.
In the next scene,
we
see him eating the food.
That is a goof because he is eating the food.
So dumb.
Well, and you know what happened there? They cut for time. He leaves, and then you just see his arm reach back and grab the bag, and then it got cut in the edit.
Oh, is that what it was?
Yeah, I'm
Well,
sure. You know, this
that's on the
spent-
IMDb goofs.
This spent the longest time in editing for a TriStar picture since, or not TriStar, whatever it is. It spent the longest time in the edit bay since Ishtar.
Oh wow.
What the fuck is Ishtar?
It is a famous movie with Sean Connery. That's all. That's the easiest.
Ratshi.
What?
Ratshi. That's Ishtar backwards. Did you know that? That's meta.
That's not meta.
I don't know what that word means.
So, all right. Well, give us the number. Wait, I gotta do the thing.
God.
Give me your numbers.
It's all the same beat.
Give me your
and
numbers,
you just
girl.
repeat yourself.
Give me your
It's not
numbers.
a
Give me
flow.
your numbers, girl. What's your domestic number? What's your weekend number? What's your international number, girl? All right, you can go now.
I'm surprised you didn't go, I got to figure out a way to make that shorter. Yeah, don't do it.
That's as short as it's gonna get.
Or you could
So
just
I'm not worried about it anymore, to be honest.
Oh, budget estimated 19 million.
Okay.
So, opening weekend was December 8th, 2002. Limited release, by the way. So maybe factor that in. Anybody?
Let's say 2 mil.
Okay. Bryce?
Opening
Opening weekend, December 8th, 2002.
Limited release?
Yeah.
I'm gonna say 750K.
You're closer, 384,000.
Oh my god.
Yeah. I mean, that's like New York, LA only.
Right.
So,
Yeah, that's super limited release.
yeah, so it opened up. It got some nominations during its run because it was a December release,
Oscar season.
Oscar season. So it picked up some speed. What is the domestic gross, you guys? What do you think the domestic gross is?
Stark, you want to do the honors first?
I'm gonna go 7 million.
Okay.
No, maybe 10 million. I'm gonna go 10 million. I'm
10
gonna go 10 million.
Ooh. Did this get an international release?
Yes,
Well,
but
it's
this is
domestic.
just domestic for this number.
I'm gonna say it ended up doing 15.6 million.
Both undershot it. 22 million.
Oh,
22.4.
Oh, it made its budget back.
Oh, yeah, 22.4. And then it did a worldwide, or got a worldwide release. So cumulative, what is that? The total it made.
Stark?
So 22
$25 million.
All right.
We're talking England and maybe India.
Hey,
or something.
it won the BAFTA for best adapted screenplay.
Okay,
What's
well, you got
BAFTA
a
mean?
hint. Like, what is this?
I've already mentioned that earlier.
What is BAFTA?
The British film or British arts and film. It's
a British Oscar.
Yeah, it's the British Oscars.
Okay. I'm gonna say 32.7 million.
Are you looking at this?
No. Did I nail it?
No, almost.
What is it?
32.8.
Oh!
Whoa!
That's the
Nice,
closest
bro.
ever, bro.
32
Yeah.
32 million 800
Bruh.
Wow.
Hell yeah. Wow,
So-
I'm proud of
Okay,
myself
Rain
on that
Man.
one. That's
Hey, he's
me.
getting better.
That's
He's
what
getting
people have
better.
called me all my life. I don't know why.
All right. Well, that about wraps it up, except for the rating and the reboot recast.
Yes. So we'll do the ratings. We'll go around the room here. Stark, do you want to do the honors as our guest for your rating?
Oh, sure. I would say.
Yeah, we got to do worth it or worse shit.
Yeah.
I think we know the answer to
Yeah.
that one.
Well, I would say out of 10 stories within a story within a story, I would give it a 9.
All right.
Okay. Chase, do you want to do a rating this time? Because my
no,
rating is a
I've already
whopper.
Okay, go ahead for yours.
All right. This is news, guys. Because out of 10, Bryce then gives it 10 out of 10s.
Ooh.
I give it 10 Bryce then gives it 10 out of 10s. It's a 10.
Damn.
Baby.
Wow, there you go. So this is rarefied air on the movie
Yes.
Gap. What do you got? Like, I know.
I think there's only, this is the third one.
Well, there's
I think.
Chainsaw, Texas Chainsaw.
Yep.
There's
Edward Scissorhands.
Edward Scissorhands.
And
Night of the
there's this one.
and then Night of the Living Dead. I think you gave it 10.
I did. So this is the fourth one.
Yeah.
I might have
And Joker.
to-
I think you gave Joker a 10.
Did I give Joker
Yeah,
a
you
10?
did because it was pushing for the number one.
I gotta be more selective with my 10s. Joker's is still a 10. I might go back and give Night of the Living Dead like a 9.
Okay.
But
Well,
I give this one a 10. And
All right.
this is shot up into my top 5 favorite movies of all time.
I mean, it's
I loved this
yeah.
movie.
If you like film at all, I don't see
Uh-huh.
how it's not. It's so
Right.
good.
Well, I just love the I just love how fucking playful it is.
Yeah.
And then I mean, using Donald to give that like moral at the end with the whole you are what you love, not what loves you was
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
so fucking good, man. And then the way he reacts, and then later on he says you see him writing that part too.
Yeah.
It's just like so. This movie is so fucking playful, inventive, clever, and then the cherry on top is just the wordplay within the name of the movie itself. You know, it is an adaptation. It's called Adaptation, but then they talk about the adaptation of living species
Yep.
to survive on
Yeah.
the planet. I mean,
Darwin, yeah.
there's not a single part of this movie that doesn't have another layer to it, and it's just
Exactly.
fucking incredible. I love it.
I think
I
Bryce is
absolutely
a
love it.
Charlie Kaufman fan. It sounds like
I
he
mean,
is a
I
Charlie
already
Kaufman fan.
was before I even knew he was some industry name. I just didn't realize that this was the guy. You know, like Eternal Sunshine was has been one of my favorite movies for a long time, and has been one that from first seeing it really moved me. I just had no idea it was Charlie Kaufman.
Yeah.
And now I know, and now it makes total sense. That it is.
There you go.
After watching this movie, it's like, like I could see him doing in Turtles on the Spotless Mind, which he did.
And that's an interesting list of your top, your 10s
Mm-hmm.
too. It goes all kind of over the spectrum there a little bit,
Yeah,
from Chainsaw to this.
yeah, absolutely.
So,
Yeah,
all right. Well, that I mean, I guess I know I say worth it, not worth shit.
worth it.
Excuse.
Worth it.
Yeah. This movie
Excuse.
is fantastic. I mean, we got to do a reboot recast. Basically, who could pull off Kaufman?
Okay, well, who do you want to just do Kaufman?
Yeah. I mean, we don't need to do.
You could do LaRoche too, man.
I mean, you could do LaRoche. I know
I
that.
can't see anyone but Chris Cooper doing him.
I think now. So there was one guy who.
Well, I could see someone. I got an idea for LaRoche.
There's one guy who got almost got it, and then ended up pulling out because he just didn't feel right for it. And I think he would be right for it now with age and everything.
Uh-huh.
And that is Joaquin Phoenix.
I
Oh,
for
wow,
some reason
yeah.
I thought you were going to say that,
Yeah.
but yeah, he would be too. My idea was Shia LaBeouf, but not
Oh yeah.
Well,
not
quite
old enough. But
enough.
you could maybe do some wrinkles and makeup or something and
Yeah.
make it look
Yeah.
all right. He grew his hair out a little bit.
Yeah, we don't need to do
Meryl Streep.
Meryl Streep or sad cartoon turtle, Maggie Gyllenhaal. I just want to get that in. That's what we call her in this house. She's sad cartoon turtle.
Oh my
Every time you see
God.
Maggie Gyllenhaal now,
I don't
you're gonna be
even
like,
know.
you're gonna be
I
like,
don't
yeah,
even
she
know
does look
what-
like a sad cartoon turtle.
That's funny.
She does. She just kind of looks like a sad
I
cartoon
guess.
turtle.
She doesn't really look like a turtle though.
She looks like a sad cartoon turtle.
She doesn't really have like a turtle beak.
Look at it again.
Okay.
Look at it again.
All right. Well, hold on. We didn't even announce the reboot recast yet,
Oh,
right?
whoops.
Reboot. Recast.
All right. So, who could pull off the Charlie Donald role?
Hmm.
We're looking for someone, God, I mean, I
Well,
guess like in their 40s.
Stark, you still
there?
there?
Yeah, I'm still here. My phone.
Oh, okay.
My bad, guys.
Who's Charles Lee Ray?
Oh, he still has his Chucky name tag. That was the
Oh.
name of the killer in Chucky.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Oops, I forgot I changed that last time. Oh my bad.
That's meta.
No, it's not.
I don't know what that word means.
So, I got an idea.
All right, I'll play.
Shia LaBeouf.
Yeah, you know, I mean,
Old enough?
I really think he's good. I don't know if he's.
You don't think Shia LaBeouf's good?
No, I said I do. I do think
okay.
he's good, and you know, he's definitely kind of on the same path as Nicolas Cage with insanity and good. You know, but like,
well, have you seen Honey Boy?
No, but I saw
have. It was very good.
Incredible.
Yeah,
very
that's what
good.
I've heard. And I saw
good.
Peanut Butter Falcon, and I was like, really loved that movie.
Did you cry?
He's so good.
Did you cry?
I don't cry.
Yeah.
I get even.
What's that from?
Just me.
Oh, nice.
Just
but you have to
the
repeat
line.
it too.
Yeah, I get even. I get even.
There you go.
Yeah,
there it is. And then now I'm just gonna walk out of the fucking room.
You should.
That's that's the kind of shit I'm talking about. Where when you see the person leaving without
it's
saying
usually-
goodbye, it's like the end of the convo. I get it. You don't need to write goodbye.
There's
But just be
usually
like, all right, well, I gotta go. See you
but
later.
there's usually like a puff of air, like whether an ounce of disgust or you know, there's something
Usually
non-audible.
but, man, Mad Men, those motherfuckers will just leave in the middle of a conversation
Well,
and be
they're
like,
mad,
that's
man.
it. They're mad men.
They're mad.
That's
man.
why it's called.
Did you
that.
know that is a play on the term admin?
Wait, what?
Madmen and admin.
Stark,
Yeah.
are you fucking hearing this, dude?
Bro.
I gotta go.
now
This
that-
fucking episode
you
is
know what
over. I'm
that
gonna
is?
shit my pants
Hey,
with
Bryce,
excitement.
Bryce, you know what that is?
What?
Bryce, you know what that is?
It's
That's
not.
fucking meta, bro.
It's not.
That's
Holy
fucking meta,
shit.
bro.
I don't know what that word means.
Madman, adman, that's fucking meta.
That's
right
meta
there.
as
Classic.
fuck,
not,
dude.
It's not meta.
Hell yeah. That was so meta. My mind just got so fucking
All right.
blown.
Are we ready?
My
to
mind
end
got
this?
so blown that my mind
blue.
blew. Anyway,
On that note,
okay.
Stark,
Well,
did you have any?
wait, you
other
didn't even
ideas?
say anyone.
I haven't. I really haven't thought about it. I have thought about it, and I can't. It's just so
Unprepared as usual, Chaz.
It's just so weird
Come on,
because,
Chaz.
like,
Come on, Chaz.
I just feel like Nicolas Cage did such a good job that I can't even not like. I'm trying to see somebody that could play Kaufman and look as much like him without looking anything like him, the way that Nicolas Cage does.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but
Well, I would say it's like almost like you have to think of somebody playing Nicolas Cage playing Kaufman instead, which would be another. If you were to ever remake it, you would have to make it even more layered and meta by somebody playing the person playing Kaufman.
Which
That would be the only way I think you could even touch this.
that would have to be John Travolta in Nicolas Cage's
there it is.
face.
There it is.
That's the only
There it is.
way to recast it.
And
That's
the
it.
whole time Charlie Kaufman is on the set of
Face Off.
fucking Face Off.
Well, this movie had the main three people from Con Air,
Malkovich.
Cusack and Cage.
Oh shit! Yeah. Wow. Whoa. That's meta.
It's not.
I don't know what that word means.
It's meta as fuck,
You
bro.
don't know what that word means.
But I will say this though. Look, it's to me, it's too much of the perfect film to even consider a remake, just because it's Spike Jonze, which to me is probably one of my favorite directors, my favorite writer, like an actor delivering a performance that was transformational to him. With Nicolas Cage, it's just too much of the perfect storm. It's also a product of the time when indie films and indie feeling films were starting to become more mainstream, where you probably wouldn't be able to make a movie like Adaptation and have the, like, you know, I don't feel like they make movies like that anymore.
I mean, they do, but they don't. You know, they're so limited release, and then they just come out on, you know, Netflix or something.
Well, there was one,
right.
there was
And-
one that was just released
world
on
is
Netflix
changing.
called This Joke Would Work Better if I remember the name of that new Charlie Kaufman movie.
Yeah, I was gonna let you hang
I'm
out
thinking
there.
of anything.
Thinking of
Of course you were.
I was
Hey.
letting you hang.
Yep.
Bryce, wait until you see Cynic Doce New York. I think that's how you pronounce it.
Schenectady.
That one is. That's
Oh yeah, I keep hearing about that one.
Yeah.
Is it good?
Man, that one is also mind-blowingly meta.
It's good.
Okay. Okay, I can't wait. That'll be the next one I queue up. But me and Chase haven't talked about this. I think we're gonna get into some Lynch though, because I want to get into some Lynch finally.
Yeah, man.
Who is admitted? Who I will go ahead and admit is my favorite director ever.
He is he's wacky.
What have you seen of Lynch?
Mulholland Drive.
Okay, yeah,
and
that's classic Lynch.
And the Twin Peaks series, and that's it.
Okay.
So that's why I want to start getting into more.
Gotcha. We'll have to
But
go
that's
with
all it took.
As Lynch as you can get, bro.
Right. Although Lynch only directed like 5 of the Twin Peaks episodes, but each one of those, like, you could tell it was actually him, and it was great.
Yeah.
That's rock.
Well, didn't he direct the whole new season of it?
Yeah,
I think so.
the new one.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the original one, he didn't. He only did like 5 or 6 of those.
Yeah.
which was kind of disappointing because there's like 40 something episodes, and it's some of it's hard to get through because it's so fucking boring.
Yeah.
Like
But-
watching someone paint for like 30 minutes.
Right. But the Lynch shit is amazing.
Well, that is the Lynch shit. I was watching someone paint. He did a whole movie.
Well, it's
He did a whole movie.
the problem is when it's people that are trying to do Lynch versus Lynch actually
Lynch,
doing
yeah.
Lynch. Yeah. So
All right. Well, that about wraps it up this week. Stark, as always, you have anything to plug?
Nah, I don't do fucking shit, dude. I'm good.
Yeah, I feel you. Oh, fucking this mouse is.
I'll plug the Movie Gap handles. Watch us streaming on YouTube
Always.
at the Movie Gap. Everything is at the Movie Gap. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, at the Movie Gap. I think we're gonna get a TikTok. Haven't talked to Chase about that yet, but be on the lookout for that.
Because we're so
Chinese
good at
don't
adding
file
content to what we already have.
we need to start doing it. Also stream Jody C. Buddy in the Worlds on all streaming music platforms.
Yep.
And also Denara Pell, Clint's solo project that is streaming everywhere as well. Check that out. It's very delicious homemade music. And thank you, Stark, and thank
Yeah.
you all.
Thanks for joining us, Stark. We will have you back on soon, I'm sure. And if we don't see you before then, though, Merry Christmas, sir.
Oh,
Since it's right
Merry
around the
Christmas
corner.
to you
Yeah,
guys.
and happy New
jolly.
Year. Just so
Happy
you
New
know,
Year.
this
Hope
is
y'all-
the last week of November. That's why we're saying this.
I hope y'all had a great Thanksgiving. Yeah, Christmas season is coming. I'm ready for old Jolly Saint Nick to take home my ball sack.
Yeah,
Yep.
we
That's what happens with
That's
all
what
you
he
guys.
does.
just to let the audience know what's coming up towards the end of the year. Obviously, we'll have our end of the year review, which this year is going to be
A lot.
jam packed because there were
We did the entire
there were-
MCU.
Yeah, we did 22 movies in 7 episodes.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
yeah, and then, but before that, on the 23rd, which is Festivus, we will be doing the Larry David movie Clear History.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and then for Christmas this year, which will come out like a week before the Festivus one, will be Krampus. We're gonna do the movie Krampus.
Oh, that's a great film.
yeah, I love that movie. So it has become
Me too. I love it.
It has become a holiday staple
It's one
in
of my
the
favorites.
Hodgson or the Austin household.
Hey,
Outed.
so to bleep that out, bro.
Outed. Yeah, I believe it out. It's just Bryce saying Donald Trump.
Oh,
You have to do that now.
that's
That's
meta.
there it is.
I don't know what that word means.
Until next time, I will see you later. It's just
No,
in space.
Trash.